What's up everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back to another video, and today we got my predictions for WWE Saturday night's main event. Of course, this is the second Saturday night's main event since WWE brought back Saturday night's main event as a show last year. So yeah, this of course is the last kind of special show before the Royal Rumble. Of course, the Rumble is a week after, but there is still some big things here on this card. And to talk about the first Saturday night's main event, I did enjoy that show. It was a good show. It was very enjoyable, but nothing really special happened on it. It wasn't really a big must-see show, but it was still a fun show. The matches were good, and some of the stuff they did on it was good. It was good to see Jesse Ventura back for it. So yeah, I did enjoy the last Saturday night's main event, even if not really important happened on it. Of course, the only real memorable moment from it was Kevin Owens package pile driving Cody Rhodes, but even that was after they went off air. So yeah, I do hope something kind of more exciting does happen on this one. But yeah, it's Saturday night's main event. It's only really a special show. It's not like it's a full-on pay-per-view or PLE. It's just a little fun show. It's on TV. Maybe you're trying to attract newer fans again. So yeah. Anyway, let's not waste any time. There's a lot to talk about here. And we're going to start with the World Heavyweight Championship match. And I can see this actually opening the show. A lot of people think it could main event, or maybe this and between this and the women's title could maybe even open the show. But I feel like starting it off hot, starting with a World Championship matchup. And I feel like that's a thing they did a lot with the original Saturday night's main events. They'd often have big matches go on first. To try hooking TV viewers. But yeah, so I think Gunther and Jey could open up the show, and I feel like that'd be a good opener. You like to open up hot, get the crowd started, invested straight away before you get going. This could also main event, but like I said, I can see it opening. Imagine you open it up, you're on, I believe it's NBC. And the first thing you see is Jey Uso come to the ring, and you get his entrance. You get the crowd yeeting along with him. It'd be a good way to hook, maybe people who are just channel flicking, or they had that channel on and it just comes on after. That could be a good way to get them to stick around and be like, oh, what's this? Yeah, and I think Gunther, will have a good match here. He's a good wrestler. I think he can get the best out of Jey, and I'm very interested to see how Jey handles here. I feel like a lot of the matches with Jey, where you're excited to see how he does in the singles aspect, have been a bit of a letdown. I think back to Tribal Combat at SummerSlam a couple of years ago against Roman Reigns. I feel like that match was a bit of a letdown. Against Jimmy at WrestleMania, that match was a bit of a letdown. But yeah, Jey, he's a solid worker. He can have a good match. His character is very over. I definitely could see him becoming a world champion in the future, but do I see him getting the belt here heading into WrestleMania? I'm going to say no. I think Gunther retains here. But I definitely won't be surprised if later on in the year we do see Jey pick up the belt. Like I said, he's one of the most over acts in the company. He's super over, gets a great reaction wherever he goes. I just don't think this is the time where he gets the win. I think Gunther will retain and hold the belt going into WrestleMania. Next up, we're going to talk about the Intercontinental Championship matchup between Bron Breakker and Sheamus. I love Sheamus, of course. I'm Irish. I've always loved Sheamus. I would like to see him eventually win the Intercontinental Championship, but do they do that here? Again, I'm not sure. And like I said on the first Saturday night's main event, not really big or memorable moments happened. This could be it. Having Sheamus finally win the Intercontinental Championship could be a way of getting people to think, Saturday night's main event, maybe these are worth watching. Maybe there will be stuff that we should be tuning in for on these. But also on the other hand, Bron Breakker, he won the championship, lost it to Jey, won it back. I was going to say, I don't think his reign's really been that long. He hasn't really done much with it since winning it back. The only real, he defended against Sheamus and Ludwig at Survivor Series. Other than that, there hasn't really been any standout matches during this reign. So maybe they do want to have Breakker hold that championship on. Maybe you have Breakker hold the belt through to WrestleMania, and then you get Sheamus having his big feel-good moment at WrestleMania and finally win the Intercontinental Championship. So yeah, like I said, I can see this going both ways. You either get a big moment here on Saturday night's main event to get people hooked and interested in future Saturday night's main events, or do you play it out till Mania and give Breakker a bit of a better run with the title? I don't know. Heart says Sheamus, head says Breakker. Let's just go with Bron Breakker. I do think maybe it's a bit too early to take the belt off of Breakker again, but then again, now and again it's good to hotshot a title run. Not everyone needs to have a big long reign like Gunther had with the Intercontinental Championship. Not everyone needs to hold the belt for like a certain amount of months. Maybe hop a bit around. Maybe you have Sheamus win it here and lose it back to Breakker at WrestleMania, and there's stuff you could do. But I think at Saturday night's main event, Bron Breakker will retain. Even though I wouldn't be mad if Sheamus did take the belt. Next up, we've probably the match I am most excited to see here. It's Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu. I believe this has never happened. I can't think it has on WWE TV, and it wouldn't have really happened elsewhere. And yeah, this is like the first big singles match I can think of Jacob Fatu having on terms of like a special event, like not on like SmackDown. And yeah, him and Braun Strowman, I have high hopes for this. The Samoan Werewolf versus the Monster among men. It's going to be hard hitting. I'm expecting a lot of back and forth from this. And I think Jacob Fatu should get the win here. I feel like a win does a lot more for Fatu than it does for Strowman. Jacob Fatu should be a guy you're building up this year. He can really be a top guy for the company. Whereas Strowman, he's already been there, done that. There's not really else you can do with Strowman. I feel like Braun now is in a position where he'll have good matches and help kind of put over the newer guys coming in. There's no better way than putting over Jacob Fatu than having him come in and just destroy Braun Strowman. I don't think he'll completely squash him. I think it'll be back and forward, but in a competitive matchup. But what I mean by that is just having him come out and beat Braun convincingly, without interference and stuff. And yeah, I'm excited for this one. I think it will be a good one. And, it's a good way to build up Fatu going into the Royal Rumble. He's someone that I think could be in the one to watch in terms of most eliminations. If you're really looking to build up Jacob Fatu, having him beat Braun here, going into the Rumble next week, I can see him being the one to pick up the most eliminations. Like we've seen with Roman Reigns in the past, we've seen with Kane in 2001. I don't think it'll be record high numbers, but I think he could maybe come and pick up 5-6 eliminations and end the match with the most. So yeah, I'm going with Jacob Fatu to beat Braun Strowman. Next up, we have a match that to me doesn't really make any sense. It's Rhea Ripley defending the Women's World Championship against Nia Jax. Reasons why this doesn't really make sense to me. One, it is a short build. We've only really seen it build up on Raw, where Nia attacked Rhea. Rhea came back out to after Nia's match against Bayley, and they brawled, and Rhea made the challenge to Nia. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's a short build. It's good enough. But why is Nia Jax now going after the Women's World Championship in Rhea Ripley and not Tiffany Stratton and the WWE Women's Championship? Nia, the former WWE Women's Champion, Tiffany Stratton was one of her best friends, and then all of a sudden Tiffany cashes in on Nia, and Nia just seems to forget about it and go after the other championship. It doesn't really make sense. She hasn't had a rematch with Tiffany yet. Why is she just forgetting about Tiffany, forgetting about the betrayal of Tiffany cashing in on her and going after Rhea? I don't know. And also, you have two people announced for the Women's Royal Rumble, one of them being Nia Jax, but yet you're giving her the title match before the Rumble anyway. It feels like WWE and the Women's Division is a kind of a bit all over the place at the moment. There's not really been a lot of build and a lot of hype towards the Women's Rumble. Like I said, they've only announced two people, and one of them, and they've only been in the last couple of weeks. Like Nia Jax, I believe, like announced herself on Raw 2 weeks ago. Bayley announced herself on Raw last week, or like this week. Like there, compare that to the men's Royal Rumble. You know, you have Cena, you have Punk, you have Reigns, you have Rollins, you have McIntyre, you have so many top stars announced for it. Whereas with the women's division, like, yeah, 2, that's enough. And we're just going to give one of them a title match anyway, but not for the title they just had and lost because of cashing to the friend. Like, it's just a bit of a random match. It's a bit, like, out of nowhere. It doesn't really make sense when you think about the story of what Nia Jax is going through. But anyway, Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley, they have a bit of good chemistry. They've had good matches before. I think back to Chamber last year. That was a good match. It'll be a good match. It'll be a solid matchup to have on Saturday night's main event. But, like I said, for reasons I've already mentioned, I don't see Rhea Ripley losing the belt. I feel like the odds are stacked in Rhea Ripley's favour in terms of if I was betting on it. Like, I just don't see Rhea Ripley losing it here. And if Rhea did lose it, it just makes things even more confusing as to why. I don't know. There's no chance Rhea Ripley loses this one. For reasons I've already been through, like with Nia and Tiffany, and I just don't see Rhea losing it here. There's not really much else to say here. Good match. Rhea retains, and it doesn't really make sense. Then I'm going to go with Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes. I think will main event the show. Of course, this is the contract sign-up for the Royal Rumble. There's going to be like something added into the contract that Nick Aldis has been trying to get him to sign for weeks. I feel like that's just no touching each other before the Rumble, and if you do, you'll automatically lose your belt or something like that. Because he's been trying to get him to sign it for a couple of weeks because they keep fighting on SmackDown. I feel like it's going to be that. I know some people are thinking, maybe it's the pile drivers ban and stuff. But it's a ladder match. It's an ODQ match. Who cares if the pile drivers ban? What are they going to do? Disqualify Kevin Owens? You know what I mean? I feel like it's just going to be that stupid, no touching each other till the Rumble. And I feel like that's going to lead into why I think this will main event. They'll sign the contracts. Of course, Shawn Michaels will be there because they are in San Antonio. And I feel like they're going to sign the contracts, and then Kevin Owens is going to send a message. And a lot of people feel like this as well, and he's going to attack Shawn Michaels. And maybe even package pile driver Shawn Michaels. What a big moment that would be in San Antonio, in Shawn Michaels' home state, his hometown. Dropping him with a package pile driver. That'll get a lot of heat onto Kevin Owens. Will Shawn take a pile driver? Maybe they'll just do like a pop-up powerbomb through the table or something. Maybe they'll just do like a stunner. It'd be a lot more impactful if it is the package pile driver. And then, the contract's already signed. In the contract is they can't touch each other before the Rumble. So Cody Rhodes can't even make the save for Shawn. Otherwise, he loses the titles. Like, I feel like that's where they're going with this. That's like the big moment that we'll get here on Saturday night's main event. There's not really much more to talk about there. It's just a contract signing, and that is going to be it for this video. Let me know what you think will happen on Saturday night's main event in the comment section below. Leave a like on this video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.